The arts of success. It's um it's a boundary that you have to set between yourself and your peers if you want to reach something that they've never seen, right? So it's okay to be considered lame, to be considered corny, to be considered all this, right? Because at the end of the day, if you are the one who's different, if you are the one who stands out, if you are the one who decides to do what's going to help his future instead of doing what makes him happy right now, you're probably the one who's going to end up being at the top. So it's okay to not have a lot of people around you. There's power in isolation. And the power in isolation is truly what helps you grow faster, quicker, better than being surrounded by a whole bunch of people who don't have the same mindset. Isolation can do two things to a person. It can either break them and cause depression, or it can build them and make them stronger. Because when you're isolated, all the problems that you face, you're facing them alone, just you and God. When you have peers around you, it's more help, right? But when it's just you and God, not only does that strengthen your relationship with the Creator, that strengthens your relationship with yourself. When you wake up consistently and beat the man in the mirror. When you're isolated, you don't compare yourself to nobody else, because comparison is the thief of joy. You take it day by day, step by step. Imagine you can do, let's say, 30 push-ups right now, right? And tomorrow you do 31. The day after that you do 32. The day after that you do 33. By the end of the year, what you're gonna be able to do 390 push-ups. Just add on every day. You don't always need a corner backing you. When you have your faith, you can be that corner that backs yourself. You don't always need to react to certain things. Not everything deserves a reaction. There's power in isolation. There's a power in silence. Two things that are so strong. You just spending your alone time with you and the Lord, or whatever you believe in, but you spending your own time with the Creator and spending your time beating the man in the mirror, because that's the only person you gotta beat. You don't have to become better than the person next to you. You have to become better than who you were yesterday. And there's no such thing as tomorrow, so why worry about it? Just become better in the present. Tomorrow doesn't exist. So just keep working now. And though isolation may feel heavy on your heart, it kind of frees your soul in a way where you know what makes you mad, you know your ticks, you know all these things, right? But when you isolate yourself, you can work all of it out. You can work all of it out. You can work on your imperfections without being judged or criticized for your imperfections. When you're grinding for success, people can tell that you are working. And they put that spotlight on you. And most of the time, that spotlight is not a good spotlight. You're always under the spotlight. They see everything you do and they judge everything you do. But what does that matter to you if the only thing you're focused on is faith in the Lord and in yourself? If the only thing you're focused on is how to become better than you were yesterday, the criticism doesn't affect you at that point. So before you can have a group of peers that can really push you and help you grow, you also have to isolate yourself and be ready for that. You have to be the person that attracts that group. You can't just expect it. And if you're around things, people, positions, environments that are holding you back from becoming a person that accepts those things, you might have to distance yourself. And there's nothing wrong with isolation. Because at the end of the day, if you win by yourself, there's going to be a ton of people who applaud you, right? There's going to be a ton of people who win with you. But when you lose, nobody is trying to take that L with you. And the ones who do take that L with you, those are the real ones. Those are the ones you need to keep around. But when you're at your lowest and you can't provide, watch how people treat you. It'll change your perspective on a lot of things. Cause when you're at your highest and everybody's looking at you like, hey, yeah, he's made it, he's doing this, he's doing that. Then it's like, okay, that's somebody who you think is inspiring. But when you fail, those same people were judging you. When you were climbing to become the person who ended up at the top, those same people you call friends were saying your dream is delusional, your dream is corny, what you're doing right now is not cool. Who cares if it's not cool? Who cares? Genuinely, who cares? My bad, little distraction. But yeah, isolation, it prones you. It makes you have to work, but not for nobody's approval. And that's huge. When you learn to work for yourself and not for approval of others, that's when you truly become a man. That's when you truly become a woman. When you notice that you have to fend for you. The Lord is your shepherd. He's going to take care of you. You don't need the validation of anybody else. You don't. Yeah, it's cool, but validation comes and validation goes. If you look at validation as a means to getting better, now that's your idol. If you're like, I want to get better so these people who look down on me can look up on me, that's your idol. You're idolizing that. You should want to get better for yourself, not for anybody else around you. And you should appreciate people who genuinely want you to get better while you're working, while you're low. Not the people who want you to be in that little crab bowl that they're in and not climb out. If you start climbing by yourself and nobody climbs with you, hey, keep climbing. Because they're going to tell you to turn around. They're going to try to drag you back down. They're going to try to lower your confidence. They're going to try to diminish what you are building. They're going to try to call you a loser. All these things. So what you don't party? So what you don't drink? So what you don't smoke? So what you don't want to do all the fun activities? So what while other people are doing certain things, you're in the house working on content, working out, doing things that you want to do, that you are disciplining yourself to do. Yeah, you want to party. Yeah, you want to go outside sometimes. Can you do that? Can you afford to comfortably do that? No, you can't afford to do that. You can't afford to stay in a state of comfort right now. You have to be in a state of discomfort. You can't afford to comfortably go outside. That should feel uncomfortable to you. It shouldn't be a comfortable thing. You have to isolate yourself for growth if you want to be better than average. Average people don't do that. They stay around their environment. They let their environment make them who they are. They let the environment change the way they perceive themselves because they want other people to perceive them different. They're telling themselves one thing different than what the truth really is. Deep down, we all know who we really are. But sometimes we tell ourselves so much we block it. So remember, isolation is powerful. And sometimes isolation is the key. Because true growth comes in isolation.